Hello! Hello there. Welcome to glennzb TV, the show that puts glennzb up your Periscope. I'm bringing New Zealand to the world, and the world to New Zealand. Hi, Digital Age TV. Welcome back. Look, I've got a confession to make. I think it's possible, it just might be possible, that I'm not a very nice person. Because this morning, we're having blanket coverage of the Donald Trump inauguration and the build up to it. It's still many, many hours away, and yet, just for example, here we go, CNN split screen coverage of a plane that's not actually taking off, but is going to take off soon to Washington. And then, you change the channel, have a look on Fox News. There it is, actually flying away. And there was just a small part of me who just really, really wanted it to just suddenly explode. And I felt a bit guilty about that. And it's not because I want Donald Trump to explode any more than he already has. It's just, I think I've watched too much 24, too much Designated Survivor, too much Homeland maybe, too much London Has Fallen. And it just seemed cinematically correct for that to happen. Didn't happen. And then he got to Washington and walked down the steps with Melania, who had sunglasses on. I think she must have had a big night the night before, maybe. I don't know. And once again, I'm left questioning, why do they make the presidents walk down steps? That's quite dangerous. That's quite a height from a plane door to the tarmac. Tarmac's pretty hard. If you fall down those steps and you're not a Hollywood stuntman, that's a hospital visit right there. Anyway. According to the Green Party, the government is to blame for the unseasonably bad weather we've had recently. Green co-leader James Shaw spoke with our stand-in drive host on News Talk ZB, Chris Lynch, last night. He said that the government talks a good game about what New Zealand is doing to tackle climate change, but ultimately has failed to achieve anything meaningful on the issue. He says the dry conditions across Northland, combined with devastating storms rolling through the upper south and lower North Islands, are signs of things to come. Yes, that's good. It's all the government's fault. The weather is the government's fault. And that's the Greens talking, so I think we have to take that seriously. It was my first day with Neva Retimanu reading the news on the Mike Hosking breakfast this morning. She reads the news on Friday mornings. It's that difficult time, isn't it? It's the 19th of January here in New Zealand, and yet people are still saying Happy New Year to you. That more than 2 weeks after the New Year has actually happened, that seems, I suppose, as long as it's still January, that's okay. Sometimes it happens in February, though, doesn't it? You haven't seen somebody until February, and they say Happy New Year. And I don't like that. It makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. But, Neva, the main reason I want you to shut up this morning is because you told me how tan I was looking. That was a good start. And then you said, especially on my forehead, it's glowing, you said. And that's where it sounds like it's not really a compliment anymore, and it's some kind of health warning about the possibility of blindness from looking at my head. And then there was a comparison made to the Large Array Radio Telescope in New Mexico, which I thought was uncalled for. I was the one who made the comment, but I really shouldn't put myself down that way. Though I can receive very weak radio signals from outer space on this forehead. Finally, not even I can eat some things. It's we've spent a lot of time this week, especially on the breakfast show, talking about giving things up for the new year. Coffee's been the main thing, but also people have weird diets. One of my managers was spotted eating a stick of broccoli by the printer at 7:30 a.m. and that's too early for broccoli, in my opinion. Anyway, the person who was setting up our shows this week left a little friendly little note at the end of the setup today. Hope your Friday goes fabulously. Thanks for a fun week. It's been good to be back. P.S. This is where it gets disturbing. There are almond, date, and cinnamon chia seed puddings in the studio fridge. Now, I appreciate the thought of leaving us something tasty in the fridge. However, I think he failed to deliver by creating something constructed out of almonds, dates, cinnamon, and chia seeds. Somebody who saw the pudding in a cup without knowing what it was described it as looking like poo. So it was about that point where I decided I would not be eating that one. I am glennzb. I'm going to go home and melt some cheese on things. Thank you so much for having me. Up your Periscope. I'll see you back here again on Monday.